I was never the smartest kid in the class. I was never the fastest on the field. And I wasn't anyone's best friend either. But the moment I walked into a room, silence would follow. And not the respectful kind, the terrified kind. Not because I had muscles. Not because I yelled or intimidated others. But because people couldn't figure me out. And what you can't understand, you fear. See, people talk a lot about respect, as if it's something you wait around for. As if one day someone just hands it to you. But the truth? Respect is taken. And I took it. From everyone. This is not a fairy tale. This is not a motivational fluff piece. And this is definitely not your typical self-help junk. This is cold. This is brutal. This is dark psychology, the kind they never teach you in school. Because they fear what it could make you become. But I'm not here to give you a theory. I'm here to give you a blueprint. A method forged through silence, observation, and psychological power. If you're waiting to be liked, to be accepted, to be loved, then click off this video now, because this message is not for the weak. But if you're tired of being ignored, if you're done with being average, and if you want people to feel your presence before you even speak, then keep listening, and don't you dare skip a single second. And before we dive deeper, if you think you'll come back later, or watch the rest tomorrow, you won't. Your mind is already trained to move on the moment you feel a little discomfort. Subscribe now before that part of you, the one that runs from power, wins again. And if you won't subscribe, go to the comments and tell the world why you choose to stay average. Because what I'm about to reveal will change your entire social standing, if you dare to apply it. In school, I noticed something strange. Everyone was trying to fit in. They laughed at jokes that weren't funny. They answered quickly when teachers asked a question just to seem smart. And I was one of them. At first. Until one day I just stopped. Someone cracked a joke. I didn't laugh. Someone tried to get a reaction. I gave none. And immediately, something strange happened. People got uncomfortable. They looked confused. Their confidence shattered, not because I did anything, but because I didn't do what they expected. And that's lesson 1. Silence is a weapon. When everyone else speaks without thinking, your silence makes them doubt themselves. Next time someone tries to impress you, don't react. Just stare. Just observe. Let them speak more, let them dig their own hole. They'll wonder what you're thinking. They'll feel judged, even if you said nothing. And eventually they'll crave your validation. You didn't earn their respect. You forced them to question themselves. If that scares you, good. Because the power you seek lies just past your fear. Subscribe now if you've ever sat in silence while someone less intelligent dominated the conversation. Subscribe if you're done being polite when deep down you want to be respected. And if you won't subscribe, ask yourself why you're here. You watched this far, which means something in you wants this. So why run now? Let me take you deeper. Have you ever noticed how people reveal themselves? Not when they're trying to impress you, but when they think you're not paying attention. Watch the loud ones. They crack jokes, talk over others, and always act like they're the alpha. But who laughs the hardest at their joke? Who looks around for approval? That's your target. You don't need to insult them. You don't need to challenge them in front of a crowd. That's what fools do. Instead, wait until it's just you and them. And when the timing is right, say something soft, calm, but deadly. You try a bit too hard to be funny. You laugh a lot for someone who's insecure. Then walk away. Don't explain. Don't give them closure. You've just planted a psychological worm in their brain. And it will keep crawling until it eats their confidence alive. They'll remember your words more than any insult ever spoken. And here's the secret. You don't need to fight for control. You just expose their need for control. From that moment forward, they'll avoid eye contact. They'll lower their volume. And others will notice it too. You have now become the unspoken alpha. Not by barking, but by waiting and striking with precision. Here's what you don't understand yet. Your words aren't what make people obey you. It's your presence. You need to carry yourself like you see through people. Like you notice every crack in their armor. Because when people feel watched, they behave differently. I would enter classrooms not like a student, but like a predator. Who laughs when they're nervous. Who talks too much when ignored. Who can't shut up when silence enters the room. You don't need to say anything. Just observe. People will destroy themselves with their own insecurities, if you let them. That's real power. Control without confrontation. But there's one part of this game that separates the average from the king. Exploiting influence. Every class, every workplace, every group has a loudmouth. The one everyone listens to. The one who thinks he's untouchable. You don't attack him. You study him. You compliment him a few times. Get into his circle. Gain his trust. Make him believe you're just another fan. Then you start the real game. Tell 2 of his friends. He copies most of his jokes from Instagram. Say it softly, casually, like you're not even trying to start anything. Then step back. Watch as those 2 tell 3 others. Watch as the laughter around him begins to sound forced. Watch as his confidence cracks under subtle disbelief. He's no longer the king. He's a clown. And you never even raised your voice. That's dominance. And you earned it by being patient. Now listen carefully, because this is where most people fail. They get too excited. They go too fast. They become obvious. And then they crash. You have to be a ghost with a blade. When everyone thinks you're average, but you strike with excellence, you become a mystery. Be the one who says, "I didn't study," and still gets the highest marks. It's the tests that count. Fail the ones that don't. Let them laugh at your doodles. Let them think you're a slacker. And then, when it matters, strike. Leave them stunned. Even the top students won't understand how you did it. And that's when they'll come to you for help. Even the teachers will respect your silence more than the noise of those who always raise their hands. You become a shadow that outshines the spotlight. Are you still here? Then let me give you the final, most important truth. People expect you to rebel or obey. That's it. That's the system. That's how they categorize you. Follower or troublemaker. But the third category, the ghost in the room, that's where power lives. You don't obey. You don't rebel. You pretend. Play dumb. Look bored. Let them underestimate you. And while they waste their energy performing, you observe. You calculate. And then you execute, flawlessly, without emotion. If you've made it this far, I'll ask you this. Why haven't you subscribed yet? Are you afraid of becoming this version of yourself? Are you addicted to being ignored? Do you still think being nice will win you respect? Subscribe. Right now. Before that weak version of you, the one you hate, takes control again. And if you're still unsure, then go to the comments and explain why you're choosing to stay small. Let others see your fear. Let them see your hesitation. Because real ones, they act. You want to be respected? Then forget what you've been told. Don't chase approval. Don't beg to fit in. Take your time. Master your silence. Weaponize your presence. And when the time comes, strike without emotion. Speak without fear. Move like someone who doesn't need a crowd to feel powerful. This world doesn't remember the loud. It remembers the one who made everyone else go quiet. So I'll leave you with this. You can either walk into your classroom, your job, your group, and keep being forgettable, or you can take everything I've said and become unforgettable. The choice is yours. But don't fool yourself. The clock is ticking. The world respects only the ones who act. So act now. And if you're ready to be feared, respected, and unforgettable, then subscribe. Because the next video I make will take you even deeper. But only the ones who follow now will be ready for it.